Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well and having a fantastic day today. So, I want to create a video specifically on how you all can sell web design services using cold email. So, this video is useful for everyone, not specific to the people who sell web design, but anyone who sell marketing services, agency services, or any sort of B2B services. And you are trying to use cold email as a channel to acquire clients, as an acquire a channel to acquire leads. So I really wanted to talk about a case study that we recently helped a web design company to, have land like 15 meetings in a month and at the same time close 2 to 3 projects in the same month. And the main channel that we used over here was cold emails. So I would be giving away the entire strategy. I would be showing you how you can think about when you are trying to sell any of these services using cold emails, the scripts that we used, and also the screenshot of the campaign so that you can trust me that I'm actually speaking the truth and I'm not making things over here on my head. So stick with me till the end, and I would be making sure that this would be one of the most valuable video that you have ever seen when it comes to selling services using cold emails. So let's get into the doc that I have created over here. I have created this in such a way that I would really like to give a little background first so that you guys exactly have an idea how to approach cold email campaigns and how to think about when you are trying to create campaigns for your services. Because based on my experience and what I see in the market, there is a lot of talks over there talking about all the different things, and there is no concrete information. Some people talk about you need to send tons and tons of volume of emails to get clients. Some people say that you need to be hyper specific and be personalized. But based on all these things, people really forget about the fundamentals, and people really forget like what is the exact thing that we are doing over here. And that's the reason I want to talk a little bit about background. So here it is. Web design is one of the hardest services to sell using cold emails. This is mainly because the offer is commoditized. So if you are in the cold email space for the last few years, you know web design is one of the source services that if you are a B2B agency, most people avoid to get as a client, because this is one of the most commoditized service out there, and there is a huge competition, and it's very very hard when it comes to get leads or when it comes to get opportunities for cold emails using like to sell the web design offer. This is mainly because web design is a demand capture offer, meaning people need it but not all the time. It's not something businesses are constantly thinking about, so it can be hard to convince them they need it right now. Most of the time, they only respond when redesigning their website is already on the radar. So this demand capture turn is something that I've learned from Daniel Fazio and Christian Bonier, specifically from Client Ascension. And what this basically mean is that, demand capture offers are one of those offers that people are not thinking about it all the time. It's not something that I want, like if you reach out to me anytime, I might get interested. It's something that only and only if I have a problem, that's when I would need to think about it or need to buy it. Another example for this offer would be cybersecurity. This is one of those offers like people don't want security services all the time. Of course, if they are educated enough, they might need it, but it's not something that they keep thinking about. If they have some ransomware attack or if something is going wrong in their company, that's the exact time when they think about getting a cybersecurity services. And because this is a demand capture offer, many people struggle with outbound when it comes to selling web design services. Another thing is SEO as well, web development, software development. All these offers are very hard to sell using cold emails because it falls into the demand capture side of the things. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. For sure, to make outbound work in this niche specifically, you often need to shift your offer from demand capture to demand generation. So instead of waiting for people to have a need to redesign their website, you need to create the urgency by offering them something that sparks interest or solves a problem they didn't even realize they had. Now, most of the time, what people go wrong when it comes to approaching to cold emails and when it comes to selling services, that they are just talking about services and how they can be, how their services are different and what different mechanism they use, but they are not really thinking about why this is important for them and why they should even, need to care about this. And the most important thing that I tell to my clients specifically is that how you can make a shift from something that it's just nice to have to something that it's like urgency, to something that's it's really really important. And that's the what we also call like selling, not selling vitamins but actually selling like painkillers. That's the most accurate metaphor that I could give you over here. So that's what we need to do over here when we are approaching to sell web design services, is that we really want to make the shift from demand capture that I spoke over here to actually generate demand and exactly create urgency to make sure that these people see why it's actually important and why they even need to care about it in the first place. Now, I would say you think about all the benefits. Take a pen and take a paper or maybe open a doc and just think about all the benefits of what it would be of having a well designed website. Think about how this could directly contribute to the growth of the business, because like how this could be directly contributing to the growth of the business, or how this could contribute to like making saving them money or something of that sort. Take the pen and paper. You are selling the services, you know the best about it. And if I have to suggest some of the services based on the experience that I had, some of these would include higher conversion rate. This would include better user retention, and this would also like result in people spending more time on your website so that they are more likely to become a customer. The more time people spend on your website, the better understanding they have about the brand and they know you better. So if you have a good UX on your website, it's a high chances that people would actually spending time on your website. So that's the some of the benefits that we can think about. So one side we have written all the benefits that we can think about this offer. This is just few I have written over here, for the sake of the video. There is tons and tons of more. You can leverage chat GPT, you can do research, you can ask your current existing customers as well, like what was the biggest benefit they received after using your services. And now that you have noted down the benefits, you guys also need to think about what are the problems exactly these people are facing and how you can solve this problem. And if they don't have a good website, what are the most of the if they don't have the good website, what consequences these people can exactly expect. Some of these consequences would be high bounce rate, that people are not staying on the website for a very long time, so that you don't have high chances of people to convert. This would also result in low sales, low leads. You don't would have a good brand image if you want to build a brand, and you would have a poor user experience. And these are just again some of the high level problems. There is so much more that can happen if you just don't have a good website. So basically, what I'm trying to say over here is that if you are selling web design services, note down all the benefits and go deep into this, please. Like, don't half-ass this. Go deep into this and think about all the benefits that a person that can have, and then think about all the problems that this can solve. And it's as simple as that. This is the part where most of the people ignore, which I call the research part of the things. Because if you have a good understanding of your offer, and if you can define your offer in a way that it actually solves a problem or actually gets someone what they exactly want, it gets so easy for you to write cold emails, because at the end of the day, like your job when sending cold email is nothing but just highlighting one of these problems and benefits at the same time, showing them exactly how your offer can either help them overcome the problem or achieve the benefit. That's it. At the fundamental level, cold email is nothing but, a channel to reach a specific group of people experiencing a specific set of problems, or they are in a situation. And your job with cold email is to highlight the problem they are already facing and how your solution can solve the problem or improve their current situation. Forget about all the fancy personalized lines. Forget about all the fancy ways you can scrape data and do all the fancy stuff on clay and build clay tables. First, you really need to dial down this part. You really need to dial down the research part, where you understand about the problems, you understand about the pain points, understand about the fears, understand about the consequences. There is so many things that you can understand about the customer. And I would be creating a video in the coming days where I would be speaking about exactly how you can research about your ICP in a way that it gets easy for you to understand what they are experiencing and how your product or solution or services can solve their problem. So if you want, so stay tuned and subscribe to this channel, because I would be coming up with a lot of sauce specifically in the B2B side, B2B growth marketing and outbound space specifically. So, as I mentioned, all you have to do is adapt your offer and value proposition that aligns to those problems. And you would require a deep level of market research for this and understanding the target market at a primary level. Most people ignore this as it's boring and directly jump on fancy things like building lists, writing copy, adding personalizations, etc. And that's the problem. And because you ignore this, your campaign flops because your campaigns are not relevant, it's not reaching the right people, and people just don't care about the offer that you have. So now that I'm done talking about the background and talking about web design, like how it's a demand capture offer, how you need to change this from demand capture to demand generation, and how you need to create the urgency, which can be only created if you can speak to them at their personal level. And this can only be done if you are doing a good enough research where you have a better understanding of the pain points, problems, fears, benefits, desires of your prospects, and accordingly, you can start creating your campaigns. Now that's about little bit of the background. Now let's dive into how we went ahead and generated one lead for every 43 people that we reached out to selling web design services. And if you just can't agree with me, this is like the screenshot of the campaign. And this is from the month of August where, we reached out to around you can see it, 2,168 were the net new leads that we reached out to. And we achieved 45 positive responses. Of this, I think 2022 meetings were actually booked on the calendar, and we had a good 4% reply rate, which means that our deliverability was on point as well. So this is also some of the like campaigns that we tested. So this is all sorts of campaigns that we tested, and you can see that in this campaign we have 583 leads, we got 8 positive responses. In this we have 164 leads and we got 4 positive responses. 272 leads and 9 positive responses. And I will be giving you good context about the people that we were reaching out to and what was the strategy overall. So now that we're done with the background, now that we have a good image of the campaign result that was generated, now let's dive into how we generated these results and what was our approach overall. So when it comes to outreach campaigns, there are three main pillars that you guys need to consider as well, and this is what I also consider to make sure that our campaign is on point and everything is working well. Number one is deliverability. Number two is lead list and your targeting. Number three is your offer and messaging. That's it. Yeah, there is a lot of tons of different things that comes into picture as well, but first and foremost, just focus on three things, which is deliverability, then it's targeting and lead list, and then there is offer and messaging. If you can, on the individual basis, master all of these things and get all of these three things right, there is a no, like there is a very less chances that your campaigns won't work well. And I would also create a video on this as well in upcoming days, is that why these three things are the most crucial things to consider when it comes to outreach campaigns. So now let's talk about deliverability, that what deliverability measures we took to achieve the results that we have over here, and how you can follow something similar. Now, I would give a quick disclaimer is that nowadays, the day that we are living in, like deliverability is changing every single day. There are new updates coming every single day. Sometimes we see that emails in Outlook is not landing properly. Sometimes we see that emails in Google is not landing properly. So I won't suggest you to entirely copy paste this, because we don't even stick to one, like deliverability strategy all at once. We keep optimizing and we keep changing, and basis of the the data we keep changing, and then we make the decision. But when it comes to this campaign specifically, our deliverability stack was very basic, where we use 10 domains and we use 20 inboxes, which means 2 inboxes per domains. So this is what you can do as well. You can go out there, buy 10 domains, get 20 inboxes, and buy which means 2 inboxes per domain. Sending volume was 20 per inbox, which led to 400 emails in total. We weren't going high volume, as the goal was sending targeted emails and low scale. So we have this thing which we call sniper campaigns, where we don't believe in sending 1,500 to 2,000 to 3,000 emails per day and just flex on the number of emails that we're sending. We don't believe in the amount of emails that you send, but we believe in the amount of positive responses and meetings that we can generate. And for the offer that we had over here, we were very much targeted because we knew exactly what our target audience needed. And on the basis of that, we still, even we were sending 400 emails in total, we were generating one lead for every 43 people that we reached out to. So 400 was almost more than enough for us, that for the scale that we were looking at over here. Our inboxes was split between Outlook and Google, and like I would suggest you to do similar as well, to avoid putting all your eggs in one basket, because every month there is new updates, and to make sure that you're not totally relying on one ESP, split it up, because if something goes wrong with one, like things go well with other. Because right now we are seeing like Outlook is working very bad, like emails are not landing into the Outlook inboxes. So because we had the split that we had Google inboxes as well and we had Outlook inboxes as well, things are working well for us because we have splitted it up. And again, another thing that is very, very important is that make sure that your leads are verified. Make sure that you verify it. Don't just scrape the leads and put it up into the campaigns, because your emails will bounce and you will land into spam. And the worst thing would be, like ignoring deliverability. Deliverability is in fact the most important thing if you are doing outbound campaigns, because if you can't land into the inbox, then there is no sense putting so much work. If there is no sense, so you need to dial down deliverability, because only and only if you do that, your emails would land in the inbox. People will see your emails, and only then you will get some responses. Uh, yeah, your inboxes should be warming up all the time. Like if you are using Smart Lead and instantly, you know what I'm talking about over here. Never stop warming your inboxes up. I know there are people who talk about warm ups, destroy your deliverability. I don't believe that, because I don't believe on what other people say. I just test on my own, and that's what I would say you over here as well. Don't blindly copy or don't blindly see what I'm doing over here. Whatever I am doing over here, it's just what is working for me. So I would suggest take an idea from this, test it on your own, see how it works, and on the basis of that, make decision if you want to, if it works for you or not. So that's about it. Our deliverability is very basic, but at the same time, it's effective. I always try to keep things basic, and in the coming, content that I would putting out, you see how my approach is basic, but it just works. I don't believe in complicating things and just messing it up. If the basic stuff is working, I would suggest sticking with it. So yeah, let's move ahead. So now we're done with deliverability. Let's talk about our lead list and the targeting that we have over here. Uh, for the client that we were working with over here, we were selling web design services, of course. So there were two main industries that we wanted to target. One was retail, and the other was e-commerce brands. And other was like retail and e-commerce brand, and other was the financial services space. The job titles were, when it comes to targeting bigger companies, we were targeting marketing leaders. This included CMOs, VP of marketing, marketing directors, etc., for big size companies. And when it comes to targeting startups or companies under the 50 employees, we targeted CEOs and founders. So there were two sets of campaigns running. One was targeting the e-com brands, one was targeting the financial services space. This included fintech, insurance companies, and all those people. And if we were reaching out to big size companies, we were reaching out to marketing folks. If we were reaching out to small size companies, we were reaching out to CEOs and founders of these companies. For e-com specifically, we use store leads to get the data of all the e-com stores and further enriched it using Apollo and Prospeo to get the emails. And Find Email was another alternative that we used, that you can use as well. So if we wanted to target e-com, if you want to target e-com, use store leads, because it's the best data that you can get to target e-com stores. And at the same time, for financial services, our base data was Apollo. Apollo has been working fine for us, although many people have been talking about it getting saturated with everyone using it. Still, we stuck to it as it's been working well for us. Make sure you add the right filter and tighten it up to get the most accurate results. So I know the space that we are living in, Apollo is one of the most popular data provider, and it's been getting very much saturated, and most people use Apollo. But I believe that if it's working well for us, why would I switch? That's what I would say. But the most important thing that I would say over here is that make sure that you have good filters, which means that you have filters that exclude things. You have filters that tighten up the results to make sure that you can get the most accurate data. Again, you can further take it, put it up into Clay to score your leads and make sure that you reach the right people. But yeah, Apollo should be the base data because it has the biggest database and it has like somewhat good data that I would say that you should reach out to. Another great tool that you can use is clay.com. This has been the game changer right now in the space. If you are in the outbound space, you know that clay.com is such a game changer that can help you enrich leads and help you further data based on the LinkedIn or company profile. You can also use the waterfall enrichment methods to find emails. There would be like, clay.com is one of the best software right now in the outbound space because the way you can use it in so many different ways. You can use it to enrich your data, you can use it to write personalized emails, you can use it to do research on accounts. So definitely when it comes to lead list, this was our strategy. You can take an inspiration from this and make sure that you can use it for yourself as well. Now let's come up to the offer and messaging over here. So when it comes to offer, I mentioned above that you need to make it in a way that it actually solves an immediate problem and fills the gap. This offer can either save time, make money, or save money, because this is the only things that people actually care about. This is where most people suck and rush, which leads to flop campaigns. As I mentioned before, you need to research your ICP to the core and understand the offer and how exactly it can help your ICP. Understand the problems, understand the fears, understand what measures they are already taking to solve the problem. And chat gpt is something that you can use to do audience research as well. As I mentioned above, the most important things when it comes to the success of your outbound campaigns is the offer, is also, like, to make sure that you research enough about your audience, because I really believe that if you are doing good research on your audience and you know your audience very well, uh, it itself writes the copy, it itself writes the messaging. So make sure you have a good understanding about the problems, and make sure you have a good understanding about the desire. And if you have a good amount of list of these problems and desires, all you need to do is switch these and use this as an angle. You need to make sure that you test one problem, you test one desire, you see what's working. If it's not working, test other problem, test other desire, but make sure you keep testing enough till the point that there is a one angle that you have found that actually is relevant and people actually care about that. And as I mentioned, as you do research, you will come up with angles that you can use in messaging. Basically, every pain point and desire is one angle on the basis of which you can create your messaging. So, as I mentioned, as you come up with more pain points and desires, you can, test it in all the different ways in your messaging campaign, in the campaigns, and see which one is actually relevant to your target audience. So this was it, like a bit overview on how you can sell web design services using cold emails. And this is not just specific to web design. I'm speaking about web design because that's the client that we got this result for. But if you're selling SEO services, if you're selling, let's say, web development services, if you're selling Facebook ads, any of the agency services, understand what I spoke to you over here, understand what is a demand capture offer, what is a demand generation offer, understand why researching the audience is so important. And then the three things that you need to take care of when it comes to outreach campaigns are deliverability, it's your lead list and targeting, and it's your offer and messaging. Now I would give you an overview of one of the messagings that we used in our campaigns that worked well for us. And this is a template, and I would request you to please not copy it word to word. Please don't do that, because what would happen is that you will lose, you will not have a chance to create something on your own, and maybe something that is working for me won't be working for you. So just take an idea, and again, there might be some people, like, it might not work well for them. Again, I am telling you, all the things that I've spoken on this video so far is something that has been working well for me. So just take an inspiration, see the idea that I have, like, over here, and on the basis of that you can come up with your messaging as well. So this is one of the first email template that I have over here. And as you can see, I will read it for you. Hi, first name. I saw your website and it looks like description of what the company does. This is something as a personalized line that you can use using Clay. So I would highlight this as like one of the personalized lines that we did. Now, the main reason why I did this is make sure that the person exactly knows that we have done a little bit of research about them and we know what his company is exactly doing. So he has an idea that it's not blasting cold email, or it's not like a mass cold email. So this is what which we call relevance, first line. Second, that line that we have over here, yeah, we have been helping companies in fintech space by building high converting websites that improve user journey and customer experience. So this is an offer that we have, but at the same time the value proposition is more specific, speaking about that, like what we are exactly doing and how it's relevant to them. So this is specifically for the fintech companies that we were reaching out to, because we know user journey and customer retention is one of the most priority thing for these guys, and they really want users to spend time on the website, because on the basis of that they can further experience the solutions that they have as well. So this only came based on the research that we did. So this is offer. that we have over here, that we are directly offering, that what we exactly do. Now, this is another most important line is company name one, company name two, and company name three has seen consistent quarter on quarter growth, along with leaving great impressions on PEs and VC firms to attract investments. Now, this is where we actually show them the social proof. This is where we show them that the people that we have already worked with and how it has impacted to the growth of their company. All right. This line that you see over here, great impression on PE and VC firms to attract investment, is again that I got from Christian Bonnier. Huge shout out to him. If you want, you can search him on YouTube as well. He writes great copy when it comes to cold emails, and I take a lot of inspiration from him when it comes to cold emails for myself as well. So yeah, like company name one, yeah, these client that I was working with, they have good case studies. So I just name drop some of the case studies and show that exactly what result that they experienced. That they got good quarter on quarter growth, and they also left great impressions on PE and VC firms to attract investments. Again, this line comes from research. This line comes from, if you know what your ICP exactly cares about. We knew our ICP cares about quarter on quarter growth. We knew ICP really wanted to, good PE and VC attraction to make sure that they can further scale their startup. So this is the line which I call the social proof. So, and the last line was like, would love to showcase some of our case studies and few ideas we have for company names, which you can implement immediately. Let me know if this is the best place to share more details. Just reply with a yes, and I will send it over. So this is the CTA, and this is such a low ask CTA. We are not uh, asking too much from the customer, and we are just giving them something for free that he can leverage for himself as well. So this is what I call like a low value added CTA. This is what I would call this thing as. So as you can see, I have pretty much broken down the entire cold email for you guys and what is the ideology that we had and why this got such a great result. Number one that we had is that we had relevance. In the first line itself, we reached out to the person and we told him, why now. We told him why we have reached out to him, and we have also told him why we have reached out to him now. Second line, we straight up gave him the offer, and at the same time we told him what is the outcome of that offer. We just didn't spit the offer. We told them that this is our offer and this is the outcome of the offer that we have over here. Third line, we told him social proof, because the main purpose of this is that why he needs to care about this in the first place. So because we did the offer over here, we did the social proof over here, and we also told them that these company have also benefited from this offer over here. Then we just asked them to, like, let us share some case studies and create few like a video for that idea that we have for company name as well, so that we are not directly asking for call over here. We have a low value added CTA to make sure that the customer can benefit from this as well. So take like an idea from this. I had another email template, so but I won't be walking you over that because this video would just get too long. And I don't want that. So I would share this document, entire doc, in the description of this video as well. Make sure you click on that so you have an experience on how to go about that. But this is the entire strategy. This is the email template, and I hope you got some value from this, and I hope you make sure that you implement everything. Again, please don't copy paste this. Please don't do that because it would just lose the value, and this email would also get saturated in the crowd. So come up with your own thing. Again, just think about how you can make the first line relevant, how you can give your offer in a way that it actually speaks about the outcome, how you can talk about the social proof, and how you can add a value added CTA. That's it. But that's about that from me. I hope you guys got value. And if you think this was valuable for you, please subscribe to my channel because it would be very helpful. And if you are running any sorts of B2B company, and if you're looking for growth, and if you're looking to make more revenue, reach out to me on LinkedIn. I would attach that on this video as well. And I would be happy to help you guys as well, because we have been helping all sorts of B2B companies scale their company past, like, and add like somewhat around $1 to $2 million in pipeline, and happy to do it for you guys as well. So make sure you reach out to me on LinkedIn if this was valuable for you, and I will attach this document as well. But that's about that, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.